this video, we're going to go over how to choose from a number of possible plugins once you've got them set up on your development site. If you don't have possible plugins set up, check out the earlier videos in this series. When choosing between plugins, I like to rank them in 4 different areas: ease of use, available features and options, front-end look, and finally, user-friendliness. Ease of use refers to how easy it is for you, as the site developer, to set up and change the plugin. Available features and options, as well as front-end look, are both pretty self-explanatory. User-friendliness is how easy it is for visitors to your site to interact with the plugin on the front end of your site. Both front-end look and user-friendliness only apply to plugins that have a front-end component. So, for example, you wouldn't evaluate a security or caching plugin on either of those dimensions. I'm a numbers guy, so I like to assign each plugin a score from 1 to 10 on each of the dimensions, and then put those into a spreadsheet. I start with ease of use, since you should already have a good idea how each plugin scores based on the setup we did in the previous video. Did you need to search for a while to figure out how to do something basic, like get the plugin to display, or was there a helpful walkthrough? Does the plugin have options that are easy to toggle on and off? Give each plugin a score, and don't be afraid to revise up or downwards based on your experience with a plugin later. Next up, I move to the features and options score. This score is the most relative of the 4. How does each plugin's available options stack up against the others? Is there one that's a clear leader? Is one missing a feature that would be really nice to have? You can spend a bit of time playing around with the settings page for each plugin. After that, take a look at the front end of each of the plugins. Do they fit the style of your site, or do they look dated? Can the look be changed easily to fit the style of your site? In general, small things like colors and font sizes can be easily changed, either with options directly in the plugin or by using the additional CSS area of the WordPress customizer. The things I pay more attention to are the structural elements. Is the content laid out in a way that looks ridiculous with the theme? Last up is user-friendliness. How to define it depends a bit on what type of plugin you're evaluating, but if you're talking about a plugin with a form that needs to be submitted, for example, you'd want to make sure that it's possible to add clear instructions and that the submit button is clearly marked. If you're talking about more complicated user interactions, like an accordion, is it clear to the user what's happening and how to interact with the content? Once you've scored all 4 categories, you can either average them or do a weighted average of the category scores if there's one that's more or less important to you than the others. The final step is to select the plugin with the highest score, and then deactivate and delete the plugins you're not going to be using. In our last video in this series, we're going to cover how you should decide whether to upgrade to the paid version of a plugin.